Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. At Wedding Wire, we realized that there is a global pandemic which has hit us, and slamming the wedding industry as well across the world. So we thought, why not ask our expert panel that we have here to answer some of our questions. So we'll start with a small piece by Sujit, to lighten the mood and to start at a nice sweet note.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much, Sujit, for such a great performance. Now, moving on, we will begin with our discussion. And to start with, I want to welcome everyone to this, and thank you so much, the expert panel, who's taken our time, and they're willing to talk about the pandemic situation that has hit the industry, and how the couples can actually what we can look forward to in the weddings that are going to happen in the coming months, and how the industry is going to change. So I'm going to begin the discussion with putting out a question to Ankur, who's the country manager for the Wedding Wire India team. Ankur, what are you hearing from the world, and what are the customers thinking, and how the industry is going to is looking like right now?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ankur, country manager at Wedding Wire India. We are part of the world's largest wedding technology company, the Not Worldwide, with the market leading positions in the US, UK, Canada, Spain, Italy, and Latin America. We've been in India for the last 3 years, and we continue to strengthen our position. So we've done a lot of research, among couples, among wedding professionals, and trying to hear what are they listening with the pandemic, with COVID-19 becoming such a big problem across the world. And here is the common theme that we are hearing: weddings are not getting cancelled. What we believe is there is a shift in demand. Our industry, unlike others, like for example travel, or even you could say like daily consumption industry like restaurants, they are seeing a loss in demand. People are canceling their holidays, like summer vacations are not going to happen. But overall wedding industry is going to see a shift in demand. What it means is there is an immediate pain of cash flows because people are not making any bookings. But we expect things across the world to improve as countries start getting out of the lockdown. We also conducted a survey in India recently, amongst couples who were planning to get married during the lockdown window until August. I would just like to share some of the insights. So 80% of the respondents, who were getting married during this window, are planning to shift their wedding to a later date. Most of them in the second half of the year 2020, October, November, December. Only 3% are planning to do it in 2021. This is very, very different than the Western world, where almost 30 to 50% weddings are getting shifted to 2021. Their peak season is the summer season, most of our Western markets see this. Remaining 20% in India are going ahead and doing a small wedding ceremony right now, legally, either at home or going to the court, small temple weddings. But what again, we are hearing is 2/3 of these weddings, they are planning to celebrate, with a big event, later in this year. And this event will not be dependent on SIA dates, So again, there are going to be events to make that celebration happen. But yeah, the other interesting bit that I would like to share is, 90% have maintained that they will not reduce their budgets. They would continue to spend the same amount of money that they had planned before the pandemic. So we don't hear anyone saying that I'll now reduce my budget, And the last thing is which is interesting, which we figured out is 75% are keeping the same guest list. They are not changing their guest list. So what we believe, what might happen, either people will be coming in shifts, or they will be doing multiple ceremonies. but like, people are not reducing the number of people they're inviting. So there can be a different way of inviting them, but like, 75% still are inviting. We see a tremendous opportunity for technology, to help customers and wedding professionals. We have seen huge adoption of digital platforms across key decision makers like parents, brides. We've also seen wedding professionals across the world like upskilling themselves, with investing in technology. They are creating stronger digital presence, creating new content, like, getting a lot of reviews and setting themselves up for the new world. So yeah, so this is what
That's
we are
great.
headed.
Yeah.
Like,
I think all of it is looking in the right direction and all positive. So taking a cue from how you mentioned the last quarter of the year is going to be heavy on weddings. Manveer, I would want to check this with you. How do you see that October, November, December anyway being a hot season in India in terms of a lot of weddings happening and couples also from this quarter and the next one rescheduling their weddings. How will all this be tackled? From a planner's perspective.
Well, I think Ankur summed up well. Most of the weddings, that were scheduled to take place in March, April, May, at least, they've definitely gone on to the next higher dates, and that means people are entering into October, November, December, which in itself is also occupied. Well, the catch here is a lot of smart couples. What they're doing is they're working on the same sire dates. They had the wedding on, and then moving on to the reception function or a social marriage that they could probably do on a non-sire date. So that's a smarter decision to take. Well, just to kind of
And
just to look at
what do you think the destination wedding scene looks like?
Well, if the traffic in October, November, December becomes too high, if there is no availability of venue, it automatically means that we'll have to people will have to kind of get to destination wedding. So that automatically means that we might see some trimmer guest list as well, that people might want to trim down guest list and kind of move to places in and around Delhi, or probably say fly down to places if air travel becomes easier.
Okay. And how do you think that social distancing and social gatherings are going to look like? Shivan, can we have some perspective on that? Since you are someone who hosts a wedding in a very intimate and a luxurious wedding venue that you have. How do you think that this is going to be tackled from a venue perspective?
I think we're getting ready for conversations over our client inquiries already shifting. Earlier on, the questions used to be very different, and now it's turning around. The awareness created has made each of us pause and think about health and hygiene, which weren't really questions which would usually come up, and how it's going to be a priority. So I guess once this is addressed, social distancing and its adaptability will not be a challenge. I think we've already started practicing it.
Okay, so yeah, like grocery runs and getting out of the house, we're anyway wearing mask and taking all the precautions, so it's just going to get easy like that. What is the impact on 5-star hotels? Varun, would you want to throw some light on that?
Well, when we talk about the hotel industry, specifically keeping weddings in mind, yes, what Manveer said, that the weddings which were supposed to happen in the month of March, April, May, or probably June is shifting. And I'll give you the fact that we had somewhere close to 5 to 6 wedding in the month of April and 5 to 6 wedding in the month of May. Well, I'll say 99% of those weddings are going to different dates in coming times and in the future. We still holding the blocks for the month of June, and still people think that June will be the month where people will be able to travel and do that. So that's kind of a hope which is still available in market. But looking at the current scenarios where the lockdown is getting extended and the situation where are we into, yes, it will be moving towards a lot of unauspicious date, which is the non-sire dates, because when there's a saying that when a two heart meets, even the God can't help. So दो दिल मिल गए तो सब कुछ ठीक है first class. So I think that will be the motto in our coming days, and because if you look at the venues in India and the number of the marriages which happen in India, there is a shortage of the venues and there is a gap in a demand and a supply. So the weddings which were supposed to go outside, I personally feel that for next 1 year they will not move out, because the fear factor will play a major role, and they will all have to do within India. And it's good for India as a country, because we will have a lot more money coming in inside the country. Well, there is a possibility that the sizes might decrease. Like we have got 245 rooms and we used to do the buyout weddings. There's a possibility that the number of the room and the number of the people will be ranging anything between 250 to 300. There will be more, people will start focusing more towards experiences. But I don't believe that the weddings will go away from our nation and in the hospitality segment. It's just that it's a little pause, but it will be back.
Absolutely. I think that's a great perspective to look at. And how do you think, sanitization of, like hotels are big properties. How do you think sanitization for rooms or, venues are going to be tackled, and how will, the guests be allowed inside the hotel room, since the number of days is also more that people stay in hotels?
Yes. As per now, it's all in air, whatever we are talking, because we don't know what the current situation is. And honestly, till the time we don't have a cure in terms of a medicine, this fear will be there forever and ever. The mask will become a new fashion, which we have already seen in coming days. Coming back to the points in terms of the sanitizer and other things, if you remember, after 9/11, a lot of new things came into the reality, which was never ever there in hotels, like the baggage scanning. It was never ever there, and even if it was there, it was not followed. So after 9/11, lot many things came, and after COVID, I'm sure lot many things will be implemented. And we, as a Accor Hotel and Fairmont Hotel, are working on a lot of SOPs. I'll just give you an example that we have decided after checkout, we will sanitize every room for 45 minutes, and we will give it to the next guest. Every bag will be sanitized before the check-in. Let's say if somebody is getting picked up from the airport, it's a family of 6. We don't mind sending 4 cars so that every car will have 2 people and a driver. And we will maintain some glass structure in between the driver as well as the passenger seat, so that the transmission of anything of that sort doesn't happen. In fact, the most important part for a hotelier is that every hotel will have somewhere close to 450 to 500 to 800 people, and they all are in a lockdown in different cities. Well, they all will be coming back to the hotels. I think we have to be very strict, and we have to be very careful in screening every staff, screening every vendor who supply us. There will be a new do's and don'ts for all our partners into the industry, because at the end of the day, our motto is same, that the guest should be happy and guests should be satisfied, whatever we do. So there will be a lot of changes which will come. There already, I have heard that there are a lot of companies have started putting the thermal scanners. There will be a tunnel which will be used for a sanitization. A lot of things will come into the hospitality sector, and it's just a demand of the time. And in a way, it's good, because country, if you look at the other side of it, that the country is growing in a way. Well, every problem gives an opportunity, and there is a lot of opportunity for us, including hotels, including event management, to improve on a lot of things which we somehow just forget it.
Right. So moving, as you rightly mentioned, I would want to see a little bit of a perspective from Lalita on this. F&B is, a great venue that we all know of, and you guys have multiple venues. So what do you think that, in terms of standard practices and checks that are going to be carried out in terms of venue and even decor for that matter?
See, obviously the new normalcy is going to be different, the new normal. So whatever standard practices that we had right now are going to change drastically after the new government directives also come in. So we will have to maintain all those stands, of course, which means sanitization, pretty much on the similar lines as Varun just mentioned. A venue is no different actually from a hotel. So sanitization of the entire venue, starting right from the entry point. I think most of us are already seeing it in the news and all that, where you have a complete tunnel or some machines installed at the entrance, where, when people are coming in, pretty much like the way we used to have the fog and the mist machines, which we use in summer. So on similar lines. And of course, the effort to use a lot of biodegradable stuff. Sanitization within the venue, extremely important. Second thing, sanitization of all man and material which is outsourced, which is not a part of the venue, but are outsourced vendors who come there to provide various different kind of services inside the venue. Physical distancing within the venue, most important as of now. The venues need to be large enough to be able to take in that many number of people, so that there can be a good social distancing within the venue. So I guess somewhere the larger venues will have a slightly more plus point as compared to the smaller ones. Smaller the venue, smaller the number of people that you'll have to take in. As Ferns and Petals, we have some of the largest venues here in Delhi. Maybe a time comes where we may have to divide one large venue into probably 2 or 4, so that you can have people distance out really properly. And like the way Manveer said, sorry, Ankur said that probably, having people come in different shifts, that may also become a trend for all you know. Delhi per se is spoiled for choices in terms of spaces. So now is the time to exercise the right to, be spoiled for spaces. People will go in for larger venues. One small point more that I'd like to mention, like the way Varun was saying that, people may go in. In fact, when Manveer mentioned this, that November, December is already jam packed. It's a chock-a-block situation already. So now is the time to tell people that, like the way Varun is saying, it is about getting married. When जब दो दिल मिल जाते हैं और दो परिवार मिल जाते हैं तो एक दिन क्या करेगा? People don't know this aspect. Just a small, I'll just take a second more, that generally पंडित जब साया निकालता है इसलिए कि उस दिन without any hurdles आपकी शादी हो जाए. He does not, he's not telling you for the rest of your life. In that case, divorces would never happen.
I think there was a campaign also running by FNP, which had
Yes.
Har Din Shubh, yeah?
Har Din Shubh, absolutely. It is just that, it's about two hearts getting in together, and as long as the effort is there, Har Din Shubh hai, you can get married whenever it is that you want. That way, of course, the entire this will get spaced out, and all of us stand to benefit out of that, for sure.
It's like something you do. If you have to propose somebody, you don't wait for a Valentine day to come. You can propose anybody on any day on this planet Earth. So you can get married any day in this planet Earth. It's right.
I'd like to recode what my MD, Mr. Vikas Gukutia, said, that Janam, you cannot choose your birth date and you cannot choose your death date. Why choose a wedding date?
Yeah.
It's like as good as any other day.
It's as simple as that. Miyan Biwi Razi, to kya karega Qazi?
People have to follow that.
That's a nice line. All right. Okay. So, these were some great inputs that we got from the entire venue team here. Namrata, I would want to jump in here and, move a little towards our, bride side and ask you, how is it, all masks being, mandatory, that all of us, whenever we are stepping out, we know that, it's like a hygiene check that we've gotten in play. And the government is also, moving towards that. How do you think the makeup, the whole industry is going to change if masks become a mandatory?
So I think, the team, that is the makeup and hair team, wearing masks is going to definitely be a must at the wedding for the bride. Us being, geared up completely will allow the bride to be more comfortable, and also sanitizing our products. So as makeup artists, we already use alcohol 99. It's a spray which we sanitize everything with before we start doing makeup, because every day we're working on different people. I think continuing that trend and making sure that is happening. So making sure that we are sanitizing the products in front of our brides, in front of our clients, important step. And providing maybe the, guests, the bride side of providing masks that they are comfortable and happy that, everybody will be safe around them, for everybody to wear as a compulsion, I think is going to be very, very important. Again, like everybody said, checking in at different times so that there's not a big crowd, especially at the reception of a hotel or a venue, is a very, very important aspect of it. And as less people coming in terms of makeup and hair to actually get the bride ready. So instead of having, 40 people coming in and getting guests ready, I think that is one aspect that maybe will get cut down to a large extent, where they will expect hopefully the guests to get ready by themselves, hopefully, because that will cut down a lot of extra people who the hotel and the F&B and everybody is going to have to check and monitor and make sure that they are okay. So I think having just the core team present to just get the bride and the family ready is what is going to, I think, be what's going to happen in the future, at least in the next March, April of 2021. And like everybody said, November, December is already jam-packed. Till Feb actually is quite jam-packed. But a lot of people are requesting for even 2 hours and coming in between, getting them ready and going. But it's again how comfortable people are traveling. I think that is going to be a very big option. Like for someone like me, I'm still taking outstation work, but a lot of people might not be willing to do that.
Okay. These are some great inputs on makeup. Moving on to catering, Sameer, how do you think catering staff and making sure all logistics are met and all norms are also followed while you are getting all the catering things done at the venue?
Look, as Lalitha ji said, there is going to be a new normal. So we will have to abide by all these changes, all the new things that we'll have to go with. We have to ensure right from procuring the stuff into our base kitchen to how we serve the guest at the venue. We are following all the norms properly. Like when we get the stuff inside the kitchen, we have to ensure the raw material, the manpower, everything is properly sanitized. We're properly looking at the sanitization chambers. The people who are going to be cooking are going to be properly in, those proper chef coats. We are, which are fresh, sanitized. Again, they are going to be cooking with these masks on. So all that is going to happen. We are very, very careful about the hygiene and cleanliness of our kitchen as it is. But this time around, we'll have to have more checks in place so that there is no fault. Our UT team, UT are the people who basically clean the utensils and stuff. They need to be trained properly so that everything is properly cleaned, sanitized, put back in the proper manner so that they are in sync with the COVID instructions which are going to be laid down by the government. Then, while we pack the food and dispatch the food, we're very careful at that point also. Now we'll have to even make sure that the trucks which we use, they are also properly sanitized. We were one of the first catering companies. We started using masks and your gloves for the kitchen staff. Now we'll have to ensure the same thing happens for the service staff also while the service is happening. Plus, I see a lot of new trends happening. When I say new trends, there probably might not be a buffet. There might be a sit-down kind of a dinner or a meal on a platter where people are not going to touch the chefing dishes and touch the utensils. So basically, to restrict the touch factor. And I will go to an extreme of saying we might even get rid of the main course. We might just have an absolutely different snacks menu where everything is being circulated. That way it will furthermore put things in check. There's going to be a lot of technology in place. There's going to be a lot of new gadgetry in place. There has to be checks at every point, like everybody's saying. Varun also said, like the venues, be it a hotel or be it a farmhouse, be it any place, they are also going to be equally careful about stuff entering them. So together as a team, the venues and us, together, I don't see any big problem happening here. We just have to be a little careful. We just have to work together as one solid team and things will be absolutely normal. We just have to live with the new normal. That's it.